Welcome everybody to a new episode of New Lunar Radio. I'm your host, Jay Brown, and with me as always...
Dill Darkle. If you can make your pronunciation fancy and whatnot. Dill Pickle.
Dill Pickle. Are you're related to the pickles, huh?
Nope.
Okay. So, we had another episode on Saturday. It happened, so we're going to talk about it.
It sort of happens every week.
Yep, that's what's happening right now, these weeks. So, just dive right into it, do a little synopsis, and then we'll talk about some news after, and yeah, good times.
Yep, times.
Oh, before we start, how was your Christmas, Daily Turkle?
I spent the whole time being sick, so meh.
I didn't really do
Yours?
much. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was asking yours.
Oh, I didn't really do much. I went to a movie on Christmas Day.
Lovely.
Yeah, that was about it. So, all right, diving into the episode. The episode title was called Bats! Exclamation point. First scene we get is Applejack poised and ready for apple bucking day, which is related to apple bucking season. I don't know how, but
It's the first day of apple bucking season.
maybe, but sure. And she runs up, kicks an apple tree, is showered in a glory of mushy, sucked dry apples. Well, sucked mushy apples.
Oh no.
And she looks in terror and says, "They are back." We don't know necessarily who they are, but she sounds the warning bell, and the rest of her friends, I guess, are the only ones that heard it, so they come running.
And they're pretty close when she starts.
Yeah,
Like, I think she went around to everyone and was like, hey, let's do this cool thing.
right.
Everyone stand over here.
And I'll ring the bell.
Dong.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you just come running up.
We don't know why we're doing this, but it looked cool. If only people were watching.
So she explains that the vampire fruit bats are back. Twilight remarks that, hey, aren't the fruit bats in a certain part of the orchard? And Applejack is like, yeah, they are over there, but these are different. They're vampire fruit bats.
No.
They're totally different. They don't just eat the apples. They suck them dry. And we also find out that Applejack is cultivating a giant apple. Fair style. Yeah, for no reason. But, to win the Ponyville Fair or something.
I can't imagine that being a very big fair.
It's usually just like Apple Bloom's got her little squash, and Granny Smith has got her knittings. Big Mac is, just a farmhand, and AJ this year has a giant apple. So, or maybe it was an equestrian fair. I don't know. That'd be a pretty huge fair. You're stepping up from, one. But she has a giant apple. That's all that matters. Fluttershy then gets her chance to convince the bats to leave the big apple alone, and she fails. Because, she doesn't understand their language yet, for whatever reason. And then we get the second song of the season, a duet between Applejack and Fluttershy, with a cool light and dark color scheme. Dark when Applejack's singing, and light when Fluttershy's singing. Though Applejack seemed...
I don't really call it a duet.
Really?
No. I mean, Rainbow and Rarity also sing pretty much as Fluttershy does.
I saw it called a duet someplace else by one of the creators, so it's where I called that distinction from. But
well, the state aria technically isn't an aria, even though they called it an aria.
True. But yeah, they go through the song. What'd you think of the song? We'll take a pause here.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I like that one. Did you like it better than the first
Yes.
song of the season?
Yes.
Megan McCarthy said on her Twitter that she thought that it sounded like Danny Elfman, which...
What?
Danny Elfman's style. I could see what she meant, but I don't necessarily agree.
Right.
So, after the song, the rest of the ponies agree with AJ that they need to get rid of the fruit bats, not agree with them, which is what Fluttershy wants to do. Then Pinkie Pie gives us a little Fruit Bat Roundup
Right.
reprise of the winter wrap-up song. So
They seem to be using that rephrase a lot this season.
yeah, so far. And Fluttershy suggests that they build a vampire fruit bat sanctuary due to the secondary helpful nature of the bats, which is that when they don't eat the seeds, so they spit them out and they get planted. And by being infused with their saliva, I guess, they become more productive apple trees. At least
That doesn't even make sense.
Right. Well, Fluttershy never explained why they were more productive apple trees. She just said that they were.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I could guess.
Fluttershy and pseudoscience.
Maybe it's because of all the guano.
Mm.
But Rainbow Dash then finds out... Well, Applejack fights Fluttershy and says, hell no, we won't go. And then Rainbow Dash finds out if they don't cull the bats now, in some way, shape, or form, there might not be any cider this year. Because one other time when the fruit bats came, when Granny Smith was young, they had to ration apples. And there was no cider. So she freaks out. Says, we gotta get rid of them now.
Oh no.
And Twilight's like, hey, I can use magic.
Aha!
Aha!
Magic. I never knew I could do that.
We can make it so they don't want to eat apples or suck apples dry. Kind of like that time that I made the Parish Sprites not want to eat things, not want to eat food.
Instead of sucking out the apples, they'll suck out the trees themselves. Yay!
Yay! So Twilight says, I can do a magic spell to make them not do the things that they're supposed to do, and just eventually kill them slowly. And they ask Fluttershy to participate in the genocide by holding them still with the stare. And the stare is now something that Fluttershy can just do whenever.
Right.
And everybody else knows about it, so whatever.
Every pony has to have something that they just do to make them different.
True. But Fluttershy reluctantly agrees after they're all like, hey, this is the only way. And they round up the bats so Fluttershy can stare them down and Twilight can magic them up. And after that happens, the bats no longer want to suck the apples dry.
What?
And they're like, job well done. Fluttershy's like, ooh, that apple looks delicious. And then we cut to the next day.
And the next day, the entire orchard has regrown apples in a single day.
Yep, regrown. And it also is Apple Bucking Day Part 2. So Apple Bucking Day must be arbitrary whenever Applejack feels like doing it. So, whatever. She bucks another apple tree and she finds more sucked dry apples. And she's like, what the hey? Them vampire fruit bats, they're still up to the no good. So they find them, and the vampire fruit bats still don't want them. And Fluttershy says that there's no other creatures that would do that. So now it's time for a stakeout.
Dun.
They're looking for the culprit.
Dun.
We find out that Pinkie Pie has prehensile hair to go with her prehensile tail. So...
Everything is prehensile.
Yeah, well, it's Pinkie Pie, right? They spread out, start looking for the creature or creatures that have perpetrated this madness. And Fluttershy sees a apple and is like, ooh, that's a delicious apple. And we zoom in and she grows a fang. Then we cut to the other ponies being scared by a shadowy bat-like figure flying around. Ooh. And then all of a sudden, Applejack finds the Flutterbat. And Pinkie Pie can drill her way to safety now, apparently, as well. Pinkie Pie, doing Pinkie Pie things all the time. The season's been full of Pinkie Pie doing Pinkie Pie things.
Right.
So, to explain to her friends and the audience what actually happened to Fluttershy, now Flutterbat, Twilight can use the powers of computer animation. Must have been princess powers.
It reminded me of the Powers of Tron. That's where the next movie is going to take place. They just go through a computer monitor to the alternate universe where everyone's a program.
Nice. But she explains that the spell must have reflected off of the bats onto Fluttershy while she was doing the stare, which took the ambition of the vampire fruit bats to be vampire fruit bats and put it into Fluttershy. So
That doesn't even make sense.
Magic!
It doesn't make sense.
So they say, okay, Twilight can reverse the spell, but they need to catch her first. They run around, they try to catch her. She's too fast and spooky stealthy. And Applejack's like, I don't care about the orchard anymore. She just wants her friend back. So she sacrifices her giant apple.
Doesn't even make sense.
The giant apple brings in the Flutterbat, and they use mirrors to make her look at herself.
So why don't they just use a pile of apples instead?
Because, it's all about, the loss of the giant apple.
They should have just made that Checkham's gun.
Then Twilight reverses the spell to bring back Fluttershy, who is, unaware that she was a bat.
Mm-hmm.
And Pinkie Pie goes on to confuse her by not saying the right thing when she could have said the right thing at least 5 or 6 times. So, yeah, And in the end, Applejack relents and builds the sanctuary anyways. Could have just saved a bunch of time and did it the right way. Or just used chemical propellants and just killed them all. That way too. Then we finally learn our lessons. That short-term solutions can be short-sighted and...
it wasn't a short-term solution.
It was semi-long-term solution, but, whatever.
I mean, Applejack was saying that she wasn't around for the last time that they hit, so that's a pretty long-term solution.
True. And I'm just assuming they just murdered all of the bats the first time around.
Mm-hmm.
Murder. And telling someone no because something is wrong is fine, even if it's a friend. So, that was the 2 lessons to be learned, I guess.
I believe I saw that lesson in an old Sonic cartoon. And that when you say no, you look for an adult.
That's no good.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was pretty much the episode. Overall, I would say that it was an just okay episode. Just okay.
Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
I'll agree with that. Too much keys.
Too much quiche?
Keys.
Keys?
Keys. Not enough keys.
Too much keys, not enough keys. I'm with you on that. Where are the damn keys? Last 7 episodes of the season. That's when the keys will show up.
Maybe they'll just do it all in one.
Possibly. Or at least a few in the same one.
Just the 2-parters just, hey everyone, check out these keys. Or maybe what they'll do, they did in episode 2 and just have them all appear at once. We need keys, okay.
Bam.
Bam.
So, this new episode, Bats, was actually written by Meriwether Williams. The credits said Megan McCarthy, but the credits were wrong, so throwing that out there for anybody who may or may not have realized.
Thanks, M.A. Larson.
M.A. Larson doesn't write for the show anymore.
Not this season.
No. Not this season. Maybe next season. And then maybe he'll give Derpy wings.
Thanks, M.A. Larson. Doesn't Derpy already have wings?
Maybe he'll give Derpy a horn. So, we're going to go and dive into some news here. Pinkie Pie style. Dive in. Scrooge McDuck style. Into the news vault. So, first up, we get another synopsis for Pinkie Apple Pie. Alternate synopsis. After learning that she is possibly a cousin to Applejack and other members of the Apple family, Pinkie Pie agrees to meet with a certain relative who may be able to provide conclusive evidence proving that she is related to them.
Is the relative named Apple Pie?
Potentially.
Because if it is, I'm going to be very disappointed.
It's old Auntie Apple Pie. Yeah. So, also on the docket, Megan McCarthy on her Twitter confirmed that there's a Rarity song coming. Imagine that. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing...
This one like every season.
Yeah. I'm guessing that it's most likely coming in the Rarity Takes Manhattan episode, but...
Probably.
That's, that's about the standard fare. Rarity goes someplace that isn't where she normally lives, and then she sings.
She sings about it.
Yep. Because Ponyville must be so freaking boring to her.
Oh, it is so freaking boring to everyone.
And then after that, we got a bunch of news about episode 11. Holy moly, this thing blew up bigger than I had ever imagined.
Mm-hmm.
So, back, was Monday, last Monday, it was announced that episode 11 was going to be called Three's a Crowd, and the original synopsis had Pinkie Pie had said Three's a Crowd. Pinkie Pie finds her status as a super duper party pony in jeopardy when the mysterious cheese sandwich comes to town and offers to plan an epic party for Rainbow Dash. And then in the synopsis it said guest voiceover by Weird Al Yankovic. And then after that, people were like, "Oh my God, Weird Al! Oh my God, Weird Al!" And
Oh my God, Weird Al.
"Oh my God, Weird Al!" So after that, they went off of a bunch of tweets from Megan McCarthy, Amy Keating-Rogers, and the fandom pretty much decided that episode 11 was also going to be a musical episode, which would make sense, Weird Al and Pinkie Pie and songs, and would be really cool and kind of awesome. But then we get some news here on Thursday that the episode synopsis for the 11th episode has been changed on the Discovery website in a new press release. And the title is the same, Three's a Crowd, but the synopsis is Twilight is looking forward to some quality bonding time with Princess Cadis, but when a sick friend shows up needing Twilight's attention, it looks like her plans for a peaceful visit with her sister-in-law will have to be put on hold, which honestly makes, fits the title of the episode, Three's a Crowd, a little bit better than the previous one. But from there, we got confirmation from Mike Vogel, MK Toon on Twitter, that both episodes, Three's a Crowd and the musical episode with Weird Al, will be fan favorites in 2014. So, Three's a Crowd is airing on January 25th with the synopsis that it was switched to, the Cadence synopsis. And there is still a Weird Al musical airing at a later date, most likely with the same synopsis that we had read before, but with a different title.
Right.
So yeah, this week was kind of crazy for that. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, Weird Al. Oh my God, a musical episode with Weird Al. That'd be great. Oh my God, it's not going to happen. Oh wait, never mind. It is going to happen. It's just not, it's scheduled. Oh God. I almost had a mini heart attack. This is not good."
Hooray.
Other than that, I got one last little piece of con news here, and it looks like BabsCon, our favorite convention that we always talk about every week.
Why do we always talk about it?
Because they're always announcing new people. Bay Area Brony Spectacular. And
Babseed. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we talk about it? Babseed.
I'm guessing that they're not gonna do anything except for maybe just turn it off because they don't care. Yeah. So Peter New is gonna be at BabsCon, which is the guest list at BabsCon is getting ridiculous. Let me just run down through it here for you. We got Andrea Libman, so there's Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie. Tara Strong, Twilight. We got Kathy Westluck, Spike. Nicole Oliver, Cheerly and Celestia. Peter New, Brian and Brianna Durmond. And then by remote, Tabitha St. Germain, just Rarity. Jason Thiessen, nice. Megan McCarthy, Emily Larson, Amy Keating-Rogers, GM Burrow, and a whole bunch of musicians, including like Eurobeat Brony, Fenning, Tarby. Craziness. Lots of crazy. That's a huge guest list. Huge.
Yep.
So, all I could say is I wish I was going.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you go?
Because I don't really want to go to the Bay Area. It's not really my thing. Plus, it costs a lot of money to go over there. I don't have any of that money stuff. So, yeah, that's pretty much the news. Got gotten a chance to check out? Did you get any cool pony stuff? Oh wait, you don't like pony merch. You probably didn't get anything cool pony for Christmas.
Not yet.
Not yet. You got maybe some Secret Santas coming.
Nah, not really.
What's that?
I could hope though.
You
Maybe
can
it'll
hope.
be super secret that I don't know about.
Maybe it'll be so secret you don't even know about it. Whoa,
Sorry.
it's all right.
Yep.
It's okay. You're excused.
Okay. And on the topic of Derpy getting wings, I found this for you.
Derpy getting wings, but doesn't she already have wings? Oh, this one, the comic where Cadence gets double wings.
Yep.
Because that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I mean, episode 11 is gonna be a Cadence episode, right?
Right. Don't worry. The only thing that you're gonna luck out on is that episode 11 is gonna have Cadence on.
Mm-hmm.
Twilight's gonna surpass Cadence here soon.
What?
Don't you worry. I'm just ticking down the days till it happens. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. So that was our show for the week. Hopefully you'll check us out on Twitter. Twitter.com/New Lunar Radio. Also on YouTube. YouTube.com/New Lunar Radio.
Mm-hmm.
All the fun stuffs. All right. That's about it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Hello.